Alright guys, so we installed some air shocks here on the 2000 Blazer LT here. I'm not going to go through on how to do it. There's a lot of other videos out there. I was just going to give out the part number here for the AC Delco. I ended up picking these up at a sale, and I wasn't sure if they was even going to fit or not, and they said it was for GM vehicles. And they do fit the Blazer there, guys. It fits a lot of different GM vehicles. The part number is a 504-550 on the AC Delco air shocks. And not too bad to install there, guys. Just had a couple things here I wanted to go over that I did have that was a little bit difficult doing when I changed these out here, guys. Was this bolt right here. It goes through the end of the shock, guys. It was all rusted up inside there, and I had to take a breaker bar with it's a 21 millimeter bolt and nut, and had to kind of work that back and forth until I finally got that freed up, and I sprayed penetrating oil up in all through there to help get that bolt out of there, because these shocks never been changed on this Blazer here, and it got 170,000 miles on it, and way past due on changing out the shocks. And like I said, I picked these up at a sale for 40 bucks, these air shocks, so I thought I'd go ahead and see if they'd fit this Blazer. And because it said when I did some research on those, it said it did fit the S10 and SN Blazers in it, and it does fit. So if, like I said, it fits a lot of different GM vehicles, all the way back to 73, like your pickup trucks, your 1500s, Cadillacs, all different kinds of GM vehicles that these air shocks fit. But like I said, I did have a little bit of an issue getting that bolt out. And once I got that freed up to where it kept turning, then I was able to take a little punch and a hammer and eventually knock that bolt out there. And both sides were like that, guys. I had a hard time getting those out because they was really rusted up. And then once I got them out, guys, I took them and put them on my bench grinder on a wire wheel and cleaned all the rust off of them real good. And then when I put them back in, guys, I used anti-seize on the bolt. Used a lot of anti-seize compound there on the bolts. This way, if I ever have to take them back apart, I won't have that issue of trying to get those bolts out of there, guys. And one of the other things, guys, with these air shocks, this here part of the air shock, you can see that it's really big, and to get to that bolt, there's another bolt on the other side of this here shock, and those are 13 millimeter bolts up there. And before I attempted the job the day before, I got up in here in this area and sprayed the bolts up there with some penetrating oil, so these would come off. And they wasn't too bad to take off. The problem is putting this one bolt on that side. You're really going to have to get you I ended up using the quarter inch drive with a 13 millimeter with the wobble extensions. See how that kind of wobbles around there, in order to get that bolt up in there, because you don't have a lot of room with these with this side, because the airbag is inside this here part of the shock, and these outer casings are a lot bigger than your standard shock absorber. So it was a little difficult getting that bolt up in there, guys, and I ended up having to go up through here like this with the bolt inside the socket and get it up in there to get it started. And then once I got that bolt started up in there, guys, I went to the 3/8 size. I was able to get the 3/8 on there with the wobble extension. They're called wobble extensions, and they're really nice to have because you get a little bit more, you can get a little bit of an angle on your on your socket there, guys, because you can move it around a little bit. Makes the job a whole lot easier with these wobble extensions. And then also, guys, all I did was they had a lot of extra airline that come with this, but this is already, everything was pre-made. The fittings and stuff, they got like some kind of a lock on there with 2 rubber O-rings in it, so I didn't want to cut those short, and because I think that lock, I don't think you could reuse that lock. It's inside that. It's like a some type of a locking thing that's on the end of this air hose, and so I didn't mess with that. So I just coiled those up and then took some tie straps and tied it up there out of the way. But anyways, guys, I thought I'd throw that out there in case some other people are going to change these out. Like I said, you might run into a little bit of difficulty here on your bolt. If it's real bad shape, you may have to get a new bolt there. Like I said, that's 21 millimeter. And then these up here at the top are 13 millimeters. And like I said, that one on that side is a little difficult to get up in there because of this size of the tubing here on the shock. But it can be done with these here wobble extensions. Like I said, I use this real long quarter size here to get, once I got it started up in there, then I went to the 3/8 size so I could tighten them down really nice and tight. And then all I did here, guys, is drilled a hole through my bumper here. This here, guys, was kind of a tight fit too, because back behind this bumper is another piece of steel. So the thickness was kind of thick there. And as you can see, this is not sticking out real far. It's just far enough to get an air nozzle on there to air up your shocks there, guys. So you want to be aware of that. That is kind of, it does fit, not a whole lot sticking out there like there should be. But this was a good place to mount that, and I thought this way you can get to it, air these up. And right now I got it jacked up. Want to make sure they're, I checked make sure all the fittings didn't have any leaks. I used soap and water on them, and right now I just got them aired up, make sure that they stay up there for the night. And I think they'll be all right because I didn't see any air leaks or any bubbles or anything from the soapy water on the fittings. And we'll lower that back down. Right now it's setting up kind of high because they got around 120 psi in it, and probably end up running around 40 or 50. It does have a minimum, it does say a minimum here of 25 pounds. You got to have at least 25 pounds of air in them, and the maximum you can put in them is 200. And the leveling capacity of those air shocks, guys, is 1,100 pounds. So that's quite a bit of weight for one of these smaller SUVs here. I mean, you could, if you're going to have some weight here on your trailer hitch, you know, that'll help level your vehicle out if you got a lot of weight down here on your tongue. This one here, I can only go with this bumper mount type, I can only go 350 pounds of tongue weight. If you had a regular tow hitch, like I got on the ZR2 there, a regular tow hitch that mounts to your frame, then you can do 500 or 600 pounds on your tongue weight on your trailer if you got a full you know, a full hitch system on one of those. But I just got on this one here because we don't haul a lot of weight, but this way if we do need it to haul a trailer or something, we got it ready to go on that. So anyways, guys, I thought I'd throw that out there. Maybe some other people going to install those. Just some a few pointers there on what kind of trouble you might run into on them 2 bolts at the bottom, and then also putting that bolt up there at the top. You're going to need some kind of special tools there, so you don't get yourself frustrated trying to get, you know, if you only got 3/8 straight ratchet, you're going to have straight extensions. If you just got the straight ones without the wobble extensions, you're going to have a hard time getting that bolt up in there because of the size of the shock there. That was one issue. I was glad I had these wobble extensions and the smaller the 1/4 inch size here as well. That made it a whole lot easier getting that bolt up in there and getting it started on that. So anyways, guys, I thought I'd throw that out there for you. Let you know what kind of problems you might run into if you do decide to add some air shocks to your S10 Blazer or your S10 pickups. Not too bad of a job to do. Just you definitely want to have them special tools to get the job done, so it's not a real pain to get those bolts up in there. So anyways, guys, that'll wrap this up on some pointers there on your air shocks on one of these S10 Blazers or S10 pickups, guys.